Hello and welcome to part 21 of the Pokemon Gold Randomized Nuzlocke. So in this episode we're going to take on a few of the gym trainers. I had planned to take on Janine in this episode, although while battling her gym I accidentally defeated Janine, thinking it was one of the just regular trainers. So we won't be seeing that on this episode. We will be battling MISTY and ERIKA. Now before we do that, I cleared out a bunch of the trainers in the area, and I really wanted to shed some light on this man right here. Just take a look at this dialogue, and it made me uncomfortable just from talking to him after the battle and seeing what was on the screen. So he says, "The tug you feel on the rod when." Of course, when you hook a Pokemon. Right. That's the best feeling ever for an angler. Yeah, I'm sure it's the best feeling ever when you feel the tug on your rod. So, let's go ahead, and the first gym leader we're going to battle is MISTY in Cerulean City. I've taken the liberty of beating all the trainers in these gyms. Like I said, I was trying to save the Janine battle as well, but I wanted to focus on the real meat of these fights. And to be honest, the trainers are not all that exciting. They have pretty low level Pokemon. I figured that the gym leader battles would be a lot more interesting. So here we have leader MISTY. Her first Pokemon is going to be a level 42 Pidgeot. So I think we're in good shape to take this out with an Aurora Beam. By the way, our team is healthy, looking strong as ever. Bungaloops is in the PC for now. We have our Parasect out, our Long-Bodied out, which knows Cut. Okay, so Kadabra's coming in. We're actually going to switch out to our Dark type. And we need Cut to get to ERIKA, so I figured we would fly to Cerulean, beat MISTY, fly straight to Celadon, use Cut on the tree to get to ERIKA's, beat ERIKA, and then we could always swap out Bungaloops and Long-Bodied. The next thing after that, I'm not sure that we'll get to it in this episode, but the next step after that would be to battle the Snorlax that's sitting in front of Diglett's cave. By the way, kind of cool, in Celadon City, I went to the restaurant in the south of town, and went ahead and picked up the leftovers. So Problem Kid, the Umbreon, is now holding the leftovers, which really makes him a force to be reckoned with. If you thought he was bulky as hell before and could just tank hits, you haven't seen anything yet. I maintain that Umbreon is such a good Pokemon in this game, and I don't know if it would be too much to say that he's pretty overpowered. Umbreon as a Pokemon is pretty overpowered in this generation, given that his special and physical defense are just out of this world, at least for in comparison to the surrounding Pokemon, given that moves are relatively weak in this game, and given that Dark only has two weaknesses in this game, and that is bug and fighting, I believe. And we almost never see any bug moves in this generation. There's no hard-hitting bug moves that I can think of. And as for fighting moves, I mean, we get the hell out of there when a fighting Pokemon comes out, so there's not much for Umbreon to actually worry about. Now that we've taken care of MISTY, which is a pretty easy fight, we're going to go ahead and fly to Celadon to take on ERIKA. This is the guy who's usually staring through the windows. Nice, old man. Nice. Okay, ERIKA's going to start out with an Iggly buff. Quick double kick should take care of this. Wow, Iggly buff has a pretty high amount of HP, huh? Okay, Hoot Hoot, we're going to actually stay in and just use an Aurora Beam. Third Pokemon, we got a Coughing. So for Coughing, we're going to send in Problem Kid. Can withstand a self-destruct. We'll be able to take hits really nicely. So since I gave Problem Kid leftovers, it doesn't have the black glasses anymore, which means that our dark moves are not going to get that additional boost, but we still have Stab. So I'm still fairly confident we can 2 and 3 shot most things without that boost. We might have been able to one-shot it with the black glasses. Not entirely sure. But I think it's worth the trade to have the leftovers so that even if it takes us longer to kill the opposing Pokemon, we're going to not be surprised by any really like powerful moves. It also keeps Problem Kid alive significantly longer, which is going to make him invaluable in battles. I mean, he could theoretically last several battles or several enemy Pokemon without having to use any items, just from the effects of leftovers. So you can see after 2 double slaps, I mean, we're only down 11 HP. It's pretty nice. And down goes ERIKA. So, I didn't actually see what TM we got from MISTY. Was it Bubble Beam? Although, I feel that I got Bubble Beam from when I beat Janine. By the way, can anybody learn Bubble Beam? Everybody. Literally everybody can learn this move, which is interesting. I don't think we're going to teach it to anybody yet, if at all, but that is good to know. Okay, so let's go ahead. We can just fly back to the Poké Center real quick. So what we're going to do is pick up Bungaloops to have a false swiper for when we take on the Snorlax encounter. We no longer need our long-bodied for cut. And we're going to put Bungaloops right in the front of the party. Now that I'm thinking about it, do we have... Okay, so no battery does no Thunder Wave. Let's start out with no battery on the premise that we can go ahead and paralyze whatever Pokemon we encounter on the first turn. So going in, we currently have 41 Ultra Balls. There's no reason we can't stock up a little bit more, but let's go ahead and stock up in Vermilion City, since the Pokemart is on the way to the Snorlax, or whatever Pokemon we're gonna find. I did get the EXPN card off screen, which is needed to play the Pokeflute radio station. Oh, we have a good amount of money. At this point in the game, until... Do we have any items we can sell? Don't need the protein. We already have a Dragon Fang as well. And I thought I deposited the black glasses in the PC. It's possible I didn't. But like I was saying, at this point in the game, I mean, hyper potions are useful and full restores and whatnot, but I'm gonna save those for really big battles, and we have plenty of items from our time in the Elite Four still. In fact, let's just check how many items we have. So we still have most of our PP items. We have 20 hyper potions, a max potion, 19 full restores. I'm pretty comfortable with what we have. I'm just gonna go ahead and spend the rest of our money on Ultra Balls. Never know when we're gonna run into a cool legendary. Like in this battle, for instance. Okay, so if I remember the way this works, we just have to tune it to the Pokeflute station. Okay, the very last one. Let's go ahead and wake this thing up. So one thing that my friend noticed, which I didn't catch the first few times myself. So we already have an Electabuzz, which means I think what we're gonna do here is kill it instead of catching it, since we can't duplicate our species catch. One thing my friend noticed, like I was saying, is that Electabuzz, you'll notice that the cry when we clicked the static Snorlax was the same as the Electabuzz that came out. The way that I've been interpreting this phenomenon is that, let's send out Lead Source who can resist thunder moves, electric moves, is that the cry of the static Pokemon actually matches the Pokemon you're going to encounter. So for example, in Tin Tower, when we fought Lugia, I didn't catch it, but he did, that when we clicked Ho-Oh, it actually gave a Lugia cry. And similarly, when we clicked Snorlax this time, it gave an Electabuzz cry. So if you know your cries well, you get a little bit of a tease or a hint or a spoiler as to what you're actually going to be encountering just through the cry alone. I'm not sure if this is something that is unique to Gen 2. I'm guessing it's just the way that it was programmed. Hello, sir. The way that it was programmed, in that it just takes the fixed static Pokemon and activates its cry, as opposed to activating specifically the cry of Snorlax. So unfortunately, we've already seen a Mewtwo and haven't caught it, and this was our first encounter, in Dark Cave. So once again, unfortunately, we won't be catching it. I don't think I've ever heard of a Moon Ball. A ball for Moonstone Evolvers. Yeah, that makes sense. So here we are on the other side of Diglett's Cave. Found a Great Ball. It's pretty good. Looks like we're gonna need cut, huh? That's kind of a pain in the ass. Thanks, friend. Aw, this poor guy must be so lonely. He basically just gave me $5,000 just because I visited. Okay, well, that was my bad, forgetting that we would need fly. We'll go back to Vermilion. I'm glad we had Bungaloops though, just on the off chance that we needed False Swipe for the Snorlax battle. Is the trainer up here? They're not usually here. At least, when I say not usually. I don't think there was a trainer there in Gen 1. You know, I think we'll have enough time in this episode to face Brock. And that means we'll have defeated Sabrina, Lieutenant Surge, ERIKA, Janine, Misty. Is that 5? Did I say that? Lieutenant Surge, Sabrina, ERIKA, Janine, Misty. That's 5. And that would leave Brock, Lane, and Blue, right? So to take on Brock, we're gonna keep... Let's level up Pops. Poor Pops hasn't gotten much screen time at all in several episodes, I might add. That's funny. Battles could end up going for a long time. Yeah, I know what that's like. I once fought Brock's Onix with a Caterpie that only knew Tackle. And I don't know exactly how it happened or like what the logic was there, but I could just continue to use, or was I just using String Shot? I might have just been using String Shot while his Onix used Bide. That's cool that he had a Diglett. I believe one of the trainers in Brock's gym has a Diglett in Gen 1. But yeah, I would just have Caterpie use Tackle, and then every time Brock's Pokemon used Bide, I would just use String Shot. And at one point, I think I even realized, you know what, I could level up a... And this was by playing Yellow, by the way. If I was playing Red or Blue, I could have just used Squirtle and taking care of business. But it was kind of cool. I could level up a Caterpie into a Butterfree. Level, I think it's like 10 or 11. It will learn Confusion. And then I could Confusion the Onyx, and then when it used Bide, just again use String Shot or Harden to stall out the Bide. So Brock's got 5 Pokemon. They're not particularly high leveled. But again, these battles are much more interesting than the typical trainer battles we've been seeing. Most of the Pokemon that I've encountered are pretty weak. I mean, high 20s, low 30s. And then the gym leaders jump up, you know, anywhere from like 12 to 15 levels from the trainers around them. Kind of wild. So I wonder in that case, if I had used Recover, if Blastoise still would have used Protect. This is one of those things I think I mentioned in either earlier this video or the last video, how the enemy, like the AI, will specifically use your move into consideration for what they do. So even though like Protect is a, you know, has a higher priority than whatever move I would use, it doesn't decide to use Protect until I use a damage dealing move. So in that way the AI definitely has a pretty strong advantage over you. The time it came into play that I can think of is when I was fighting a Weeping Bell that was using Sleep Powder on a Magneton that I had. And when I used a full heal, it just used Sleep Powder again, even though, you know, it's not really the smartest thing for the AI to do. And then it missed the second time. And when I used an attack on it, it used Sleep Powder again. So obviously the AI is just kind of picking and choosing based on what you do as opposed to actually just making a move on its own. So we've defeated Brock. Did he give us a TM? He did not. Okay. Why don't we call it at this episode? What I'm going to do off screen is take on... Oh, it's funny, they have a gift shop. Take on the trainers to the east of Pewter City, and I'll actually just start heading back to Viridian City so that we can take on Red. I'm not sure if we have to take on Blaine before Red. If so, then we'll just go ahead and take on Blaine first. But I'll do the same thing I did this episode. I'll clear out all the trainers so that you guys can just see the actual gym battles. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.